What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News. And it's Wednesday. You know what that is. It's Fantasy Wednesdays when I take a fighter from the past versus a fighter that's now or from the present, or more current times. And I just call a tell of the tape and who would win and why they would win. I thought about this, who would be the topic of discussion for today. I don't think people talk about Sugar Ray Leonard enough these days. They talk about a lot of other fighters, but I know as time progresses, because time is moving so damn fast, right? To the point where, the guys that were once current are old. Look at Mayweather, he's retired. Manny Pacquiao should be retired. Roy Jones, Roy Jones went to Olympics in '88. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? Like, Tyson, stuff like that. Tyson was back in that golden era. He was like at the end of the golden era in the '80s, right? And he followed that through the '90s and the millennium. But Sugar Ray Leonard was the guy that was there when all the top welterweight fights were going on. From welterweight to middleweight, this guy was the guy. This guy that beat the guy that beat the guy. You know what I mean? So he did a lot of things in there, and he was the golden boy of that era, right? He was the Oscar De La Hoya at the welterweight division. He had the good looking looks. He had the great reputation and stuff like that. He had the endorsements. He was famous. He was popular. And he did things good outside the ring, and he matched it well inside the ring. So who would he go up against that you could compare him to in forms of who would win out of a fight between him and Floyd Mayweather Jr.? And let's say, what version of Floyd Mayweather? His best, I guess. I think his best was probably at 135, 140. But 147, welterweight. Why not? The tell of the tape, Sugar Ray was a little taller than Floyd. Not by much. I think Sugar Ray was like 5'9", 5'10", where Floyd's 5'8". Speed category, that's kind of difficult when speed. Simply because if speed, Floyd was probably quicker reaction time, but I think the combinations belong to Leonard. But it's the style too. Leonard fought a lot more. He threw a lot more punches than Floyd. And, if you look at this fight progressing, it could go two or three ways. But I see a fight like that, two guys in their prime, and they know of each other. I see Sugar Ray Leonard just not really trying to box Floyd. I think it would start like that. I think the first rounds 1 through 3 or 4, it would go like a chess match for a while until Floyd shows that he's more dominant defensive wise. Because what Floyd will do, Floyd will just exploit, he'll just hit the holes that Sugar Ray gives him. And if Sugar Ray gets behind, on points for like the first 2 or 3 rounds, Sugar Ray will change up his attack. And the reason why I figure he will is because I listened to a video with Sugar Ray, and they asked him about Floyd when Floyd was fighting. He told them that he wouldn't try to hit Floyd flush. He wouldn't try to hit him flush. He wouldn't even headhunt, no whatsoever. He wouldn't go for the head at all. He would go strictly for his chest, his arms, and his body. Now I believe that. That's an old school thing. I remember when Roy Jones, he fought a guy named Harding. I think it was Eric Harding. And he just kept pecking away. And he was this awkward southpaw, Harding was. And he just kept pecking away, at this part, at this part of his arm. Just kept punching it until he punched it and tore a ligament, or those punches, caused an injury. So I think that's what Leonard would try. Leonard would be doing that more so than anything else. And if anybody knows a successful way to fight Floyd is the same way Castillo fought Floyd, or Victor Ortiz for a minute was fighting Floyd, or El Chino Maidana was fighting Floyd. You just have to fight Floyd. You can't box Floyd, because that's falling into his game plan. Yeah, I want you to box me because no one can outbox me, And then for a thing, that's why you didn't see Floyd fight a lot of boxers, though. And Sugar Ray had, he had skills his own, but he looks for certain counters and certain habits, which I don't think that he would get that from Floyd. So I think he would have to take the fight to Floyd and fight Floyd unorthodox, and hit him on the chest, the arms, the body, take a juice out of his legs so he can be more mobile earlier. The only thing is, will Sugar Ray, which I think Sugar Ray was in great condition too. So you got two conditioned fighters. So none of these guys had problems in their prime with stamina. None of them. So I see Sugar Ray able to keep up that pace and to fight Floyd like that. And then meanwhile, Floyd is still picking his spots because Floyd will always be in a fight. So I see that fight going down to tooth and nail. And probably from 9, 10, and 11, if Leonard is successful by either hurting Floyd to the body, hit him into the chin, because anytime you work the body, you're just setting up something upstairs. But you don't focus on the head because it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it's really less likely that you're going to catch Floyd, with a flush shot. You will every so often, but, if you throw 100 punches at Floyd, you might hit him 6 times. You know what I mean? So, it's a ratio thing with Floyd. But if you work the body, then you can afford to take a gamble upstairs simply because you haven't been going upstairs. Leonard would have to fight Floyd to the point where the punches that he's punching to the body, he's so focused and worried about those body punches because they're starting to affect him, to the punch when he does hit him upstairs, he won't see that coming. He didn't see that coming when that happened. So that's the way he would have to play that fight. Now, will he win? I'm not really sure. It depends on if he's able to fulfill that game plan. Depends on how many counters and how many flush counters Floyd can hit you with on the ropes, doing, the crossover like he knows so well, tucking the chin, And I think he should aim more for the body and on the top of the head, north of the temples, to get over that jaw, because you're not going to catch Floyd smooth in the jaw because he's not that type of dude. You know what I mean? You might catch him some nose shots with the jab, and I think it would be beneficial to fight him in a southpaw stance sometimes. Like Conor McGregor had something going for a while. He just kept switching. Had he knew, like, let me switch into southpaw to put my power foot behind me and throw that jab like a cross, he could have done a lot. Like he did the uppercut. He caught Floyd, but it was kind of like at his neck because Floyd, he's good at tucking his neck. So the question is, can Sugar Ray Leonard inflict that type of investment and damage on Floyd, meanwhile taking flush punches from Floyd and not being hurt by doing so? That's the question. So not saying that Sugar Ray couldn't beat Floyd. It was just how in the game plan that he chooses to fight him. Because if he boxes, he loses. But if he fights and spots and he works the body like he's supposed to, he could come out victorious in a fight. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about these particular two legends in the ring. Leave your comments below. Please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.